So fun fact about Torri, she's actually a liar and has been talking the talk but not walking the walk, because when we filmed our David Dobrik episode where you ran out to David Dobrik, you didn't say hi to him or really like fully interact. You go, you know what, if it was someone like Jason Nash, I would totally have said hello, say I love the videos, and whatever. That was an isolated situation. Then, lo and behold, last week you run into Jason Nash, and what did you do? Said nothing. Said absolutely nothing. Who is this? This is not the Torri I know.
Roll the intro.
Well, welcome back to Poddy Talk,
The podcast where we shit talk ourselves.
and we have a lot to talk about today. I'm Jack.
And I'm Tor.
I almost forgot
You really,
that. I know.
You really went on your own little
know,
path
I'm sorry.
there. And then you also timed it out. It was like our different syncopation.
Oh, you know what? We were in LA. We're a whole new person right now. It's hard to get back into the groove, okay?
It is.
We're going to dive into a lot about our travels. But before we get started with today's episode, I do want to thank today's sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by Swab. Swab is an app designed to make job searching for students easy and recruitment even easier. Using your smartphone, you can now search for a job in the comfort of your own phone. Quickly create your profile, upload your resume, and begin the job search. Swipe left on roles you aren't interested in, and swipe right to apply to the jobs you are.
For employers, you can visit Swab's website where you can find local candidates quickly and easily. Quickly sign up to begin your 30-day free trial and begin posting vacant job positions. Use the platform and language that young job seekers resonate with and understand. It's actually so easy. It's literally like the Tinder for jobs. So if I need to find a job, I would definitely use this app. I love how it's even saving paper because you don't need to even print out your resume.
Totally. The app is super simple to use. Poddy Talk listeners, if you're looking for a job, you can download Swab in the App Store or Google Play. And if you're an employer looking to hire, you can visit swabapp.com and start your 30-day free trial.
Do it up. Thank you so much for today's sponsor. Now let's hop into our LA adventures. Where do we even begin? We were originally down there with NYX Cosmetics. There was the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina makeup collab with them, with collaboration like with Netflix and NYX, all of that. And we were invited to go down to shoot a little photo shoot, I guess.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? Or,
Yeah, that was it.
That's it.
That was
today's
it.
episode, folks.
Yeah, that was really fun. I mean, the weather was nice.
I think we need to hop into our actual shoot day because we broke into a wine and liquor store, and that was an experience within itself.
yeah.
We didn't actually have, not us personally, I mean, I guess the team that we were shooting with didn't necessarily have, is it a license you need to get or like approval beforehand? You need to definitely like formally get a filming license.
Yeah.
But we're like, let's just walk into this convenience store and see if we can just start shooting a little video for NYX.
Right.
The guy there, do you remember his name? What was it?
No,
Sean or
but
something.
he made a point of learning the guy's name.
Yeah. And this guy was super chill. Let us literally, I think we unfortunately probably damaged some
goods?
product. Yeah, because we were throwing one of the scenes that we had to shoot. We were throwing around chips and like popcorn and stuff, and like in the package.
Legitimately don't know how we were allowed to shoot in there, but
No, we definitely weren't. And then it was funny. The guy, the clerk who was owning the operation, he drew the line because at one point we're like, oh, it'd be so cool to get a shot of the security footage of us like running in. It was very like Spring Breaker style. We were like,
well, because they were
raiding the
shooting it on a
store.
digital camera, then they were also shooting it on a film camera, and then we thought, oh, if we can also have the
security
footage, then that would just be such a nice combination.
But that's really where, we tested our luck, and the man is like, no, and you need to get out of here soon. So then we wrapped up pretty quickly, but it was super fun. The team, I love the entire team there. Ryan, shouts out to you.
Yeah. No, they were great.
Yeah, they were
It
all
also
incredible.
just shows you that, and not that there's a huge gap, obviously, in talent, but it is really interesting working, like a work day in LA in the industry because it's such an industry place. Everyone is so specific to their job and what they do.
What
like,
do you mean it's different?
versus Toronto. Like, I just mean like the scale of it all. Like being in like Milk Studios with like 5 different photographers. Like I just feel like if you were shooting something in Toronto,
Right.
of course the talent level is still there, but I just think sometimes the scale is very different.
Oh, totally. I mean, budget probably has a huge thing to do with that.
Yeah.
Going there, it made me realize, we were, like Tor said, we were filming at Milk Studios, which that is, if you're not aware, like one of the most iconic LA studios. It's like Kim Kardashian did her most recent product launch there. Like everyone goes and does their shoots there. This studio was absolutely stunning.
It was.
It was also so bougie to the fact that we were casually taking some video and photos
Yeah.
in the lobby, and one of the very sweet receptionists comes over and goes, hey, you didn't actually buy the rights to shoot in here. Do you want to add that onto your fee? And we're like, oh, it's okay. We're having
Yeah,
an
no,
Instagram.
they're making bank.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
no.
if you're charging for someone to take an image in your lobby sitting on, like, we were literally sitting on a black bench.
I know, like a blank wall behind.
Right, like, it was like a beige wall and
Yeah.
a black bench. Like, if you can charge, like,
Sis.
USD.
Get that coin.
Wow.
Get that
Crazy.
coin, as the kids say. Yeah, no, they're definitely making bank there. But it was such a cool experience, and everyone was so supportive, and like we were just like playing Lizzo, like having we actually ended up having a Poddy talk photo shoot unintentionally.
Yeah.
I mean, we were both there to individually take our own images, but we're like, hey, we're best friends. Can we just do a shoot together? And they're like, yeah, sure. And now I think we actually have the season 4 cover photos for
There
Poddy
you
Talk
go,
now.
yeah.
So shout out to Nyx.
No, that was fun. It was like
really fun.
It was also interesting because it's funny when our role goes from content creator to like full on model, which is really
Yeah.
like unique, I think, in a job. Like it's the one job where like you have to be your own creative director, your own producer,
Totally.
your own like model, but it's such a weird thing because you really are wearing so many different hats. And like that day was a
Yeah.
real example of I am by no means a trained model.
Oh, exactly. But you're expected to be it.
But I'm expected to
Yeah.
show up, be amazing on set, understand how sets work, and
And I think, again, we had the benefit of the doubt, or the benefit coming from more of the entertainment industry. You grew up acting. We understood what it's like to be on set, but for some of the other, there was international creators there as well.
Yeah.
It could have been their first time even on a
Well,
set.
totally. The
Let
set
alone,
thing
like,
and then
learning
also-
set etiquette is so, it's not necessarily inherent.
no, true. Set etiquette, one thing, and then not only that, but like naturally being camera shy. I mean, we talk about this all the time.
Totally.
There's people that are in the industry that are hugely popular online, and then when you meet them in person, you're like, like,
Exactly. It's easy for people to have a big personality that's just
Totally.
on their camera, but then you meet them and you're like,
people can be
oh,
very
you
camera
are
shy
very-
when there's an audience or
Exactly.
when there's a director or when
Totally.
there's someone else in the room, and I feel like that's where
We thrive.
we thrive. No, but honestly, that's where
Yeah.
we kind of shine because we're good at taking direction, and we also are not afraid of being ourselves on
Yeah,
camera.
we also just kind of like eat up the attention. Like we both
Yeah.
love it. And
Yeah.
it makes us like, for me, it makes me even more like, it's almost like an adrenaline rush.
Alert.
I love it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's very narcissistic of me, but I do. It like definitely like takes things to a whole new level. But even for me, that whole thing that you're talking about, like, okay, now you're expected to be a model. I kind of had this moment where I was sitting there. It was actually at the dinner. We had a team dinner the night prior, and how the shoot kind of worked out. So I think there was maybe like 8 creators, including
Yeah.
both of us. We were the 2 girls from Canada. And they had sent over before a PDF of like all the different shots we were trying to get, all the different looks, and they had assigned different makeup products to certain girls. And they're like, hey, you actually have to create your own makeup look, but use the purple eyeshadows, or you have to use all the glittery lipsticks, or whatever it was, showcasing the different products from the launch. So I was assigned like some purple eyeshadows, and it kind of got me thinking, I'm like, this is so cool that I get to be the face of a campaign, get to basically create whatever look I want. Like, of course, they gave me the parameters of the colors to use.
Yeah.
But I got to truly be a makeup artist and decide what I wanted my look for the day to be.
Yep.
And when we were on set that day, I go, wow, this is so strange because maybe like, 4 years ago, I was working as a makeup artist on set where I was just the makeup artist. I had my little pack thing on, all my little like tools, and I would run up, do touches.
Yeah.
And even at that stage, I wasn't even a key makeup artist where I was designing makeup looks. I was just on set to keep up the maintenance. I didn't even get to
course.
design like what the eye look was or what lip color. Like,
Right.
So it was a weird moment for me to kind of sit there and be like, oh, this is so cool that not only am I working with like a global makeup brand.
Yeah.
I get to be the face of it and be a model for
Yeah.
it, but then also design and be the makeup artist and like do my look.
No, totally.
And it's cool. It's awesome that they gave us the freedom to do that. And I think NYX as a brand is very much so like creator driven versus like celebrity endorsement driven, which is really awesome because it does let artistry shine. So
Yeah.
I don't know, it was like a really cool experience. I really honestly like loved it.
Yeah, no, me too. It was like, it's also, yeah, it's nice to put things in perspective too, like going to the US to work on such a big scale because
Yeah.
it also reminds you there's so much more that we can do in our careers. Like, I
yeah.
feel like that's like a treat. We don't get to do that all the time.
Yeah.
But when you have those awesome moments, you're like, oh, wow, like people do this legitimately every single day.
Totally. And
like,
I
that's
always
so
think
fun.
of all of these experiences that we're like blessed enough to have. And I kind of think of all of the work we do almost like I'm wearing a tool belt, if that makes sense. And each time we do like one of these new things, I'm like, oh, I'm just adding that to the tool belt. Like that's now
course.
another experience, another skill set that I have that I understand how the process works, and I can either thrive or learn from it. And yeah, no, I just like, I think when you're in the moment and the motions are happening, it seems not worthy of like applause or like.
Because it seems normal.
Yeah, you're like,
because
okay,
you're
I'm
just
gonna
going
go,
through the
pose
motions.
for a photo. And like, that's really, if you're gonna strip it down, you're putting on some makeup on your face, posing for a photo. That's really what it is.
Right.
And in the moment, it just feels, normal. But then when you look back, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool that we did that.
Totally.
And like, sometimes I feel like I don't necessarily take the time to step back and be like, you know what?
That was cool.
Great work. But
Yeah.
guess what? Great work, my friend.
You gotta appreciate the little wins.
Yeah, no, it was definitely super cool. And we actually just got the images back like yesterday. And I thought they were so cute.
Yeah, no, they look
And
great.
especially the ones, the two of us are super cute too.
Yeah.
I'm excited. You'll be seeing them on our Instagrams later, so follow us at Jaclyn Forbes
Stay
and
tuned.
Torri Webster. It was awesome that day that we wrapped early, which I think was, I don't know if it speaks to our one-take wonder. We
our
always
talent?
joke that, yeah, our
to our
pure
talent.
talent of.
We were just trying to get out of there so we could go to Tao for dinner.
Yeah, no, it ended up working out great. We wrapped a bit early, and everyone seemed really happy with the work, which that's always a plus. But we went out to dinner, and then that night we went to a concert because you had a friend
Yeah.
who also is your doppelganger.
Yeah, this is
Especially
all
that
a
one
weird
photo.
story.
The photo she posted of all of us backstage,
Yeah.
like you guys could be twins.
It's really strange. So
Who
yeah,
is she? What's the story
the
of your
long and
relationship?
short of Esther. So Esther and I met, I would have been in grade 12 in high school. I was in oh no, that makes no sense. I would have been in university. Yeah, I was in university, maybe second year. Anyways, clearly the details do not matter.
It's all in the details.
But I was shooting a Nickelodeon show here in Toronto. She's actually from New York originally, like
I didn't know she was actually American.
upstate New York, but then was actually living in the city at the time, like living in New York City, kind of like starting out her career. Well, she had done like childhood acting, and then this was her sort of big breakout Nickelodeon role. She was the lead of the series, and we hit it off right away. Like even during the auditions, actually, we like had a really nice rapport. It was kind of ironic because my role was not in like the human world. I was like in this like separate fantasy world.
What was the show called?
The Other Kingdom. And so anyways, I was in the kingdom, not like the human world. So
Okay.
we didn't have like a ton of scenes together, but some. Obviously, she's the lead of the show, so she still interacted with me as a character. But so anyways, outside of set and like outside of all that was happening, her and I started hanging out because she was living downtown Toronto. She was from the US. She didn't have any like
Right.
built-in friends here. So the only people she was really hanging out with were people like
Coworkers, yeah.
and people that she met on set. So her and I like really hit it off, and she actually was living really close to where I live now, ironically. And I remember going for drinks with her on King West, and we were chatting about I had just like kind of was seeing Adam, but I was like, I'm not really into it. Like it was like this whole thing. Like,
really?
yeah, she was kind of around before Adam and I started getting together, and she always laughs at that because she's like, wow, 4 years later, like that's just hilarious. But yeah, she was like one of the people that was around at that time when I was not sure like where I was gonna go with it all. So we just like hit it off. We would do drinks a lot and hang out a lot, and then she left.
Is
and
she your age?
she's a bit older than me,
Oh, okay.
maybe 2 years older.
Okay.
Is that right? I think so. Anyways, when the show wrapped, she was really keen to kind of move away from acting and really kick this like music career into life. And so moved to LA to sort of start her music career. And then I also had friends in LA. So every time I was down in LA, I would like do a lunch with her,
Sure.
catch up. So we just honestly kept in touch over the years. And then the last time she was in Toronto, she was actually opening for Dennis Lloyd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Adam and I went to see her perform, and she was so great. And then
well, she's rebranded. Her name now is
Ezzy. Yeah. Her name. Yeah.
EZI. Go look her up. Her
EZI.
music is so
Fantastic music. So she's just like completely rebranded. Like did like a phenomenal job like kicking into the music industry, and then my friend. I'm such a connector. It's always like this. But now my good friend from like also New York became friends with her. So when we were in LA, she was like, I'm going to Esther's show. You guys should come along. So we did, and it was great, and it was awesome to see her, and yeah, it was a fun night.
I was obsessed. She had the coolest makeup that night. I was like, I need to take a photo of your face. Like, I want to actually recreate that makeup look. She had it was very Euphoria inspired in the sense
was
that
really
it had
cool.
like little like rhinestones all like perfectly like placed like almost in I guess it was like almost like a perfect like plaid kind of checkered board. Coming up onto like the temples. It was so cool. I was like, I love your face. I need to take a picture of this and recreate that. But even funnier that night after the show, I don't think I've ever laughed harder in my life. It was one of those experiences where I feel like you hear oh, you know, like the LA scene, and like you hear all the murmurs about it, but I've always been very removed from that. And even when I literally am in LA, I'm never like around necessarily that crowd of people.
I feel like I've had way too many interactions with the LA
you definitely
scene.
have like more of a like jaded, like you've like, oh, I've been there, I've experienced it. And I'm not a part of that scene. But hilariously, oh my God, this might have been one of the best moments of my life. And I feel like even when we bring it back up, it's not necessarily going to be as funny because it's one of those like you had to be in the moment to understand it.
Yep.
But there was a character that came up. We were just kind of all like backstage or after the show, kind of going to our green room, meeting everyone, saying hello. And again, there were some other mutual friends and then their mutual friends, whatever. We're meeting all these new people. And this particular person had walked up, and it was one of those things you go, and he'd already caught my eye, like not in a good way. But then Torri even goes, oh, look at this guy over here. You could tell he was approaching with intent.
He thought he was the hottest shit since sliced bread.
Oh, and like he like wore it.
Like he just wore his
aura.
And like, let's be clear, he was an attractive person. It had nothing to do with the fact that he wasn't attractive.
It was nothing about actual.
It was the fact that he knew he was attractive. And he walked as if he were Wonder Bread. No. Like he was like, I am it. I am the winner. And before I even have a second to like, for sure. Yeah, and before I even have a second to like be like, oh my God, let me walk away. I have no interest in engaging with this.
Yeah.
He looks directly in my eyes, and then just that such intentional, hi, I'm like blah, 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 like so nice to meet you. And it's like, dude, it is not a pleasure.
Well, it was definitely a bit of a performance because I was kind of like watching out of the corner of my eye. He had introduced himself to some of our other friends, and I saw the whole performance, which with each person, it was a routine. Like awkwardly intense, too long of eye contact.
Yeah.
Very like, tell me about you. Like, oh my God.
Like way too much. It's LA. It's LA. It's just like so LA. Like that's it.
So, and I immediately knew he was kind of going down the line of our friends, and Torri was before me, so I knew as soon as he went to Torri, I go, oh, this is like, I just right away knew that their personalities were not going to resonate. Whereas someone like me, I'm like, okay, I can kind of diffuse the situation, just like whatever, not give you the attention. But Torri will butt heads. And then, so he said hello to you, and I don't even know.
Then we just began a conversation. Like, he was like, so how do you know Esther? Yeah. And then I was like, oh, well, we were on a show together, like when we were kids. And then he's like, oh, so you're an actor.
Well, that's one of the things that I noticed, especially this experience, was that a lot of people, their first question is, oh, like, what do you do? / like, who are you? / are you important enough for me to have a conversation?
Oh, that's just Los Angeles. Yeah. That's like always the thing.
And that was like the first, but he's not trying to hide it. He's like, why are you here?
What do you do?
What's your importance?
Yeah.
And so, he goes, are you an actor?
And then I said, well, sort of. I said, yes. And then he's like, so that's why you're in LA? And I said, well, no, like I'm here for a photo shoot. And then he goes, print work.
I looked at Torri. I died.
First of all, I've never in my entire life heard someone
call it print work.
Yeah, like and he was so genuinely serious. Print work.
Well, it was like weird. It was almost like he was proving that he was also an actor and knew what print work was instead of just saying like a photo shoot. He's like, oh, I know what print work is. But then also too like very belittling. Print work. Like just the whole thing was so funny. And then it's like I was almost ready. I was sitting there. I was like, do I go in? She's actually the face of a global makeup campaign. She's actually a beautiful model from Canada. Like no, like you're not gonna like flex. Yeah. That personality doesn't need that. Anyways, turns to me, and then there was blue lighting in the room. He's like, oh, you both you ladies look like. Was it Mr. Freeze or I don't even know what his reference was. So I go, sir, I do not know what you're referencing, but like if it's a compliment, thank you.
Yeah, he was so weird.
And then even
he wouldn't let up. Like
he wouldn't. And we were trying to be like, okay, buddy, enough.
It's
like
enough.
Move on.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't back away.
I have this theory. So this is my theory.
I just remembered when we left, he tried to give you a hug, and you go, no, and you shake his hand, and then walked out.
Yeah, I really can't with that energy. Like, I am not good with that. I don't like it. No, didn't I not even shake his hand? I bowed at him. I was like, because I didn't want to touch him. I literally just like nodded my head in a bow.
One of those weird things where even I could feel the tension, and I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna like, if you're gonna punch him, or if he's gonna grab your face and like make out with you. It was like,
oh, interesting.
It was so weird, the energy.
Yeah, no, he was so weird. I could not engage. But anyways, my theory of this and why I think you felt that way is I read this novel when I was in university, and it was stunning. Highly recommend if you're like single single at all. I'd highly recommend. And it's called Why Men Love Bitches.
True.
And it's
a challenge.
And it's that energy, and I think I naturally have that energy of like, if I don't like
you. I naturally have bitch energy.
Yeah, no, I think I have the energy of like, I don't give I don't give men this like idea that I think they're better than me, because I just actually don't think they are.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm very blunt, and I'm not like, I don't know. I'm not like, oh my God, you're
You
so
very
cute.
much so
like, oh, I'm like,
respond
no.
how you're feeling when you meet new people or you're
Totally. Like,
whereas
if I
I'm
don't
someone who
enjoy
will-
your energy,
yeah.
like, you'll know. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna hug you just because society says that if someone's hugging you at the end of the night, you have to hug them. Like, I will
Right.
bow at you because I don't want to touch
That
you.
was incredible. Honestly, I think I was slow clapping after
I was
that.
like, no, like, I don't like that. Like, don't come into my personal bubble. Like, I control that. So anyways, my whole theory
Respect,
is,
man, respect.
I think that even the
what I'm
reason
saying,
he
he was
was trying
attracted to it.
to still engage with me, the reason he was even engaging with me was because I was trying not to engage with him.
Totally.
It's the whole idea, like, you want what you can't have.
Oh, exactly.
And which is like literally the thesis of
and
that book.
he is probably someone, if we are going to make stereotypes or assumptions, like
Yeah.
that is used to maybe getting that type of attention.
100%.
So it
like
was definitely-
typically he's probably like, oh
was
my
thrown
God,
off by
this
it,
small
yeah.
little blonde girl, she'd normally like love me. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, literally don't touch me.
It was incredible. It was through and through. One of,
See,
like, the
Adam,
best-
you never have to worry. I'm literally out here like
Yeah.
keeping personal space from other humans.
Yeah,
like,
no, didn't even shake the hand. I forgot you did bow.
yeah, I was like, nope.
Yeah, for that moment alone, it was Esther's concert was truly incredible.
It was
because
so
of
funny.
that.
We laughed so hard in the Uber home about the print work.
Print work.
Like, I'll never get over
what?
that. It was just so funny.
Print work,
Loved
baby.
it.
Print work. Incredible. But yeah, so that was our experience with Nyx. It was absolutely incredible. Shout out to the team, and everyone was so great. It's always nice too. I find sometimes when you're on these press trips, sometimes you don't necessarily even meet these people beforehand, which maybe does sound like stranger danger, but normally unless with a big global company, there was a bit of a trust in there. But you've never met these people before, and you're traveling with them internationally, and not that I've necessarily had experiences in the past with other companies that have been like horrific, but people do make or break the experience, no matter how incredible it could or can't be.
Yeah.
And everyone was really lovely.
Yeah,
which
people
always
kept
helps.
asking that trip, like, oh, what's been the best part of the trip? And I had moved around to so many different, like, first we did Nyx, and then we parted ways, and I went and worked with the Disney team. Like, I was on a press trip with them in Anaheim.
You had like 4 trips within one. It was crazy.
Yeah,
You
and
were
I felt
busy.
like every team I was meeting, different brand teams, were just so great.
Yeah.
And that, honestly, I can truly say does not always happen. Like, there's
Yeah.
been so many experiences where I'm like, oh my God, get me out of here. Or, oh my God, this person is so unprofessional, or whatever the story might be.
Oh my God, you know what? We didn't even talk about it. I just triggered something in my memory. The driver that we had in LA
yeah.
like 5 times.
Yeah.
Okay, so Torri, the last time
I already have really strange luck in LA with drivers.
It on the podcast. Did you talk about it?
I
Give
don't
them
remember.
a brief synopsis.
I
if they
think we
haven't
talked
heard.
about it briefly, but essentially I was in a taxi. I wasn't in a taxi. I landed at LAX and I went to go get my luggage, and
You had a car service.
and I had a car service arranged from a brand. I didn't book the car service, the brand booked it. And he walked over with me. I was waiting for my luggage, and I had my leg up on like the luggage carousel, and I was waiting for my luggage to come out. And then this fellow passenger, this like kind of younger Australian guy, he pulled me aside and he's like, hey ma'am, like I'm really sorry, but like I'm standing behind your driver who's standing behind you, and I see him on his phone like taking images of you and then like sending it in a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
And he's like, I would just want you to be aware, like you're young and you're alone, and like I'm not sure if you know this person,
Yeah.
but like definitely just wanted to flag that like he's taking
And it was
images
nice to
of
be
you.
privately and like quietly like.
Yeah,
let
so
you
he
know
like
that.
he like
saved
you
the
know
day.
saved the day. So I, of course, approached then my driver and I was like, "Are you taking photos of me? That's insane." And he started to deny it, and then that's when this guy stepped to my rescue and was like, I absolutely saw you taking images. Open your phone right now. Let me see the images. And so he did. He opened his phone, and there were, in fact, images of me. And so this guy was, he was so lovely, and he was like, take a taxi, or if anything, like, take an Uber with us. Like, he was really great. So I basically sent this other driver walking, because I was like, I'm not getting in a car with
No,
you.
of course. That's
and called
ridiculous.
the car service, or had the brand call the car service to like literally get him fired. But essentially, like, it's kind of scary when you're traveling alone, you're a woman, there's like all these things that you
have to
don't
put your
even
trust
think
a
about.
lot in the world, and in that
Totally.
case, he totally broke it. And thank God you did. Like, thank God that man flagged that, because like you
I
don't
know,
want to think
who
the worst,
knows?
but who knows what would have happened?
Yeah, of course. Who knows what
was
would have
clearly- yeah.
happened? And so I think ever since then I've been much more aware of like, especially at airports and getting into people's cars, and especially when brands are the ones making the the arrangements, not me. Like
so
I
you
don't
haven't like researched. You don't know if the company's.
And I also don't have like a direct contact. Like all of it is a little strange. So anyways, it's much better like in current days because typically you and I are together in those situations. And obviously there's more power with the more people you have. So I'm less afraid than when I'm alone. But anyways, so Jack and I like go and approach our driver at LAX and he immediately is
he was so mad at
abrasive, so intense. He's like, why haven't you answered my text? And I said, we literally just landed. I haven't turned on my data yet. I'm on a Canadian plan. Like I'm not on my phone yet. So yeah, so this driver essentially then pulls our luggage. He's so pissed and he sees me on my phone and he goes, I thought you said you have no data. And I was like, dude, I just told you I was turning my data on.
Like our phone was on airplane mode.
Yeah, I received your text just now and we're also standing beside you, so don't worry.
And also, what was so crazy is that like we very efficiently got off the plane and very efficiently grabbed our luggage. It's not like we were like wasting
not
time.
moseying
we were very
at all.
quick. Like, he was definitely just in a bad mood.
No, he was crazy.
So I kind of give Torri a look. I'm like, okay, is this man just mad? Is he gonna kill us? Like, you know when you have to quickly assess the situation and well, let's test our luck. Let's get in a car with him. Again, in hindsight, not necessarily recommending, but that's what we did. But oh my God, I completely forgot too. So I had a situation where I was an idiot and I think I'm slowly turning into Torri and I heavily overpacked to the point that I was gonna just pay like the overage fee, which I thought normally is like $20-25. I go to the thing and they're like, oh ma'am, it's $125. I was like, I'm not paying.
Yeah,
like
so much.
No, I will not spend my money that way. So I was like, let me try to like rejig it up and like repack. So I had like literally like a tote bag and I like had shoved some of my heavy items in there. So I used that as like my carry-on. Anyway, so I had that tote bag on my arm, and then I had my big luggage. And right away, the driver was, I mean, guess just doing his job, like grabbing my luggage, and he goes to grab my tote bag. I was like, oh, it's okay, sir, I'm gonna carry this. Like, it's kind of spilling out, like it was overflowing.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just hang on to this. He's like, no. I was like, no, really, I'll hang on to it. He goes, no, please, and like takes it. So I was like, okay. I was like, it is kind of overflowing. Like, I could see that there's shoes spilling it. I didn't want to lose anything. So he like takes it and then like is pushing the cart with your luggage on it too. Not kidding. We step outside of LAX onto like the street to get to where the parked cars are. He drops the bag and everything spills out. And I'm like, yep, that's exactly why I wanted to carry it. So I picked it up and then I carried it. But he was just like definitely in a bit of a mood.
But then the long and short of it was whatever. He got us to our destination. It was fine. He was speeding. It was like, but we were fine.
He even yelled at you for sitting in the front seat. You're like, I'm trying to put my
I wasn't even trying to sit in the front.
He was just not happy with us.
He was just not happy. And then I was like, okay, whatever, we're free of him. We left. But then the most hilarious part was when we parted ways and Jaclyn was going out to Malibu to see her family and I was going
to your next trip
to Disneyland. He's the car that showed up.
Yeah, so it's like
separately. Like you left first and then he came back to get me. And I was like, really?
Well, I was dying because it was like 8 a.m. and I was like, gonna go visit my parents who were already down there vacationing and I was gonna just kind of extend the trip. I get in the car, it's 8 a.m., I'm half asleep, like just packed my things from the night before. We had just come from like this Netflix party, we were out late. And so I wake up, I'm like half blurry, I get in the car. He's like, ma'am, and leads me to the car. I was like, wait, what? I'm like, oh my God, it's the same driver. And then so I text Torri right away. I go, you're not gonna believe we have the same guy. He's still in a bad mood, so maybe that's just his personality kind of thing. And then you shock me even more. You go, he just came back to the hotel. He picked me up an hour later.
I was like, this is just too much for me, honestly.
The beautiful part of it is that we survived. We did not get murdered.
No,
so
we did.
We survived another trip.
Damn.
It is scary though. You think of even everyday things. I guess that's just kind of how the world works. Whether you're hopping into an Uber, whether you're hopping onto a streetcar.
I know.
Your life is, you have to put trust in strangers and you just really hope that people don't abuse it or
Speaking of fragility of life, Adam and I were at the flea market, like right in like Fairfax and Melrose, like the heat of LA. And we walk in, and this is like on the Sunday after Disneyland, had a great time at Disneyland, and we were coming back to stay in LA to extend our vacation for a couple of days before Jaclyn and I flew to New York. So we're literally at the flea market, and Adam has never been, and I've wanted to take him there forever. He's never been to LA, but he's a very like trendy but like off-trend person, so I knew he would love the flea market because it's all these like vintage clothes and like cool little trinkets, old cameras, all these like awesome things. So I was really stoked for him to see it, and we walked in and like the energy was immediately strange. Like our valet guy was like so distracted, he was like on his phone, and then he's like, oh, sorry, and then like it was just all very strange. We finally get into the flea market, this guy is like standing there and he like runs up to this other guy and he yells Kobe, and I was like, oh, is this guy's name Kobe? Like why is this person freaking out? Like his like knees were on the ground, like it was like just this like weird kind of strange moment. But again, like I have not been on my phone in like at least an hour because we were driving, and I was like, so whatever. Again, thinking nothing of it, carrying on my way through the flea market. And then I'm like, oh, babe, I'm going to run to the bathroom. Like, I'll meet you in a second. So I left him and I walked into the bathroom. And then this woman comes running in behind me on her phone. And she's like really upset. And like, I'm like kind of trying to make out what she's saying. But like, there's no specifics. She's just like talking about how upset she is. And she's like on the phone with someone. So then I'm like, oh, okay. Like something is wrong. Like this is weird. And then I was like, okay, let me go on social media. Because this is now like too many people acting strange. I'm like, am I missing something here? So I kind of go in the stall and I'm like, okay, what am I missing? Like something happened. And I start scrolling and then literally the first thing on my feed is like an e-news alert about Kobe Bryant. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? So I go running out, I find Adam, like we have our moment. Like, and at this point, actually, I don't think it was the e-news alert because I think at this point it still wasn't confirmed. It might have been the TMZ sort of like speculation. Everyone was speculating, but there wasn't a confirmed like note. Like it was kind of just like, you know, Kobe, helicopter, like all these keywords, but like no story was put together. But anyways, like within minutes, obviously, like everything was confirmed and like the whole flea market was just kind of like up in arms. And it was like so strange to be in a public place in Los Angeles when that news broke because it was just so tragic and sad. And like to think that that was sort of his like stomping grounds and like people are just such huge fans there. It was really, it was so sad.
A very different experience being in LA when that news broke because my version of the story, so same day, same time, I was down in Malibu with my parents, and that morning we had been kind of just staying at the beach house, like not really leaving, and that day it was such a foggy and cloudy day. It was so overcast.
It was very overcast that day.
Yeah, so we're like, oh, we're not gonna like be tanning or outside, like it's kind of like a bit of a gross day out.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Malibu market and like pick up some like fresh food and whatever. So we're kind of driving along Pacific Coast Highway, and it was weird because I remember even having a moment going, oh my God, that's a lot of emergency vehicles. There was like a slew of like all these vehicles that had passed us. I remember going, oh, that's like a lot of like fire trucks, cars, whatever. With sirens on and like active. But like, again, didn't really think much of it, like whatever. And then we go to the market. And then literally as soon as I got back home, again, I didn't have a data plan on my phone, so I wasn't on my phone when I was out. Got back to the house and like had gone on my phone and literally the news I think had broken. I remember it said like 6 minutes ago, like there was like a Twitter moment or whatever. And I was like, oh my God. And it was so crazy because Calabasas, which is where the tragedy took place, is like literally right behind the mountains of Malibu.
Yeah, it's so close.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
Like, because I passed it later that week when I was in Malibu for brunch. We went up to Studio City to pick up Madison and literally accidentally went through the canyons to like go get Madison. We went the back way as opposed to like going back through Santa Monica. So we literally were driving through Calabasas and then past the scene. Like I was like, oh my God, Adam, we need to get out of here. Like it's just too much. And you know what's really strange, and I think a lot of people can attest to this and a lot of people felt this way, the news strangely hit people way more intensely than necessarily expected, considering, I mean, I don't know him personally. Like, it's a really hard thing. I mean, of course, you're going to be, like, so sad if anyone at that level that has influenced you passes away.
It was
but
just
him
so
specifically, I don't know what it was. I think it, like, whether that's, like, it's, like, the passion he put into his career, how much he loved his family, like, all those, like, qualities, something about it was so sad to me. Like, I was, like, I don't even know what word to use, like off kilter that day. I felt so sad about
I think
the news.
With anything, again, whether you have a personal connection to someone or not, like I'm the same. I mean, I'm not even a huge, like, necessarily sports person, but of course that's like a figure you always like know of.
Of course.
I think what makes that specific situation so like extremely devastating is that is not the way it like
was meant
it's
to
ever
be.
supposed to happen. Like no one is supposed to go like that.
Totally.
And just the like everything is just
with the daughter,
the family. Like you just think about all
sad.
these. It's really just truly so tragic, and all the other victims that were also a part of it. It's truly like horrific. So
it's like one of those moments where you think like there cannot be a higher power, because if
how would that happen?
How would that happen?
Yeah, and it was weird. Actually, I saw you because you guys came over
life.
to our place that night, actually, and it was the Grammys that night, so we were gonna have a barbecue and stuff.
Which Alicia killed it. Alicia Keys killed the game.
Shout out to Alicia.
Yeah.
It was also interesting seeing immediately how it impacted like Hollywood so directly, because the news had just broken literally hours before the Grammys started.
No, totally.
And the entire event, the energy was so, I mean, respectfully somber, but you could tell everyone was so thrown off. And yeah, it was like one of those days. It's like when we were talking about the day that we found out when Michael Jackson had died. Like even I remember that moment.
It just like stays with you. I don't know.
It
of
does.
course, like your personal people in life will stay with you more than a celebrity, but some celebrities, you can't explain it. It just, those moments stick with you.
Totally.
Yeah. Crazy.
Whew, okay. Moving on to lighter and brighter topics.
Yeah.
I do want to talk a bit about Disney. This is totally changing the speed of where we were going. But off the top, I know I did talk a little bit of Jason Nash. Can you share with the audience what went down? Because I woke up to a text of you going, oh my God, you're not going to believe who I just ran into at Disney.
Yeah, it was funny. So yeah, essentially Adam and I were at Disney for, I guess, 3 days. And we were with a press trip, so we kind of had this like VIP access. Like
we got to go in before the park was open, right?
Yeah, we'd get to go into the park at like 6 a.m. and like shoot, you know, the castle with the sunrise and like all those sort of special magical moments. And it was, I guess, our 3rd day. It was our final day. And so there's like a bit of a life hack in the sense at Disneyland, in the sense that a lot of people that are sort of celebrity will come in through one of the hotels. And that hotel just happened to be where Adam and I were staying. And I know this route because this is how, when I used to go with Madison, when we'd have like kind of special VIP treatment, we would do it that way. So like you're not necessarily going in as a normal person. You're kind of like...
Wait, the park access is underground to the hotel?
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool. I didn't realize that.
It's not underground, but it's
like a separate entrance.
Yeah,
from
there's
the
a
hotel.
separate entrance.
Ew.
So this is how I had done it in my younger years with Madison, when we would go and like, you know, we'd have, when she was on Disney Channel, and we sort of had this like special treatment.
Totally.
And I was just lucky enough to be along for the ride, but I had experienced it. So I was aware that like this is how the celebrities would enter the park. So, but again, I'm not really like celebrity driven. Like I don't care. I didn't have like my eyes peeled or anything, and I was not like searching. So I was entering at literally the exact same moment because Adam and I were coming from the hotel, which is where we were staying. And I see this like group of little girls, and I'm like holding my vlog camera. I was like vlogging that portion of my trip.
Also, your new vlog camera is so eye-catching.
Yeah,
it's got a hilarious
it's
small
like big.
rig.
Yeah, it's big. So then I walk in, and I'm waiting for Adam because he's always 10 steps behind me. So I'm standing there, and all of a sudden I look up and I make eye contact with him. But of course it's like a double take. Like he's out of context. He's standing with a bunch of girls. Although I do know he has a daughter, so I should have like put that together faster.
Still out of context.
But still very out of context. And he was the only adult. Like it was like 5 girls, like all of her friends, and then
old
him.
Man.
So then I'm like, oh, like double take. And then he looks directly at me. But now I'm like in the moment where I'm like, oh, that's Jason. Oh my God. And then he kind of smiles. And then it's like, and then he walked away. Like it happened so fast.
I'm sure it was also one of those things where it was like a smile, like I know you know, or like I know you're a vlogger. Like it was like a peer kind of like a fellow YouTuber.
Potentially, like it didn't even feel that legitimate. Like it was just sort of like,
an acknowledgement.
Hey, yeah, like whatever. We walked in at the same time. What's up, kind of thing, and carrying on his way. And I was like, oh my God. And then I went running back to Adam, and I was like, damn, like I wish I was like, oh, I love your vlogs. Like I feel like. And again, I'm saying it now, he is the type that I think he would have been like, oh, thanks. Like, I mean, not that I would expect more than a no thanks, but like,
no, I also agree. Jason Nash, I feel like would
like it's not David, and he knows he's not as famous. Like, not that he's not as famous, but he's more replaceable.
Well, not even that. I love Jason. He's my favorite.
Not replaceable, but you know what I mean? It's like he's not the star.
Totally, but I also think like his story is really interesting. Like, I think he used to be a writer on SNL. I listened to the Views podcast, which is their podcast.
Yeah.
And it took him a long time to kind of break through
into the industry, yeah.
And his newfound success is the YouTube world and being in the vlog squad and working with David, which is so ironic because he's put in like 20, 30 years on the back end of the industry.
No,
but he never made it through that way. So his route to success is so different.
100%.
So I feel like he would really appreciate, I don't know, I just feel like Jason would be your guy, you know?
And then it was ironic because I go, damn it, I missed him, and they went into Disneyland and we went into California Adventure, so we were going into like separate parks. There's like, oh my God, how many people visit Disneyland a day? I don't even want to know
the numbers.
Thousands and thousands and thousands.
What do you think it is? Is it like over 100,000 people?
Oh, probably more.
A day?
Probably more with all the lines and everything. Like probably more, honestly.
Or is it like, what is, actually, I'm curious.
Look it up. I don't know.
Is it like 50,000 or are we talking like
No,
crazy
it's
numbers?
way more than 50,000.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So anyways, then later in the day, I'm still in Disney California Adventure Park, so not the other park. I see him again. And I just want to say, what are the chances
of running into Jason Nash twice a day?
But then that time he was yelling at his daughter, and I was like, it's definitely not my moment to like insert myself.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, so I just didn't. But
Disneyland capacity is 80,000.
Oh, that's less than I thought, but that's Disneyland.
Disneyland, yeah.
Then
I'm
there's
sure-
also California Adventure. So
That's like what, a large stadium of people? California Adventure. Because what is it?
crazy.
Rogers Center is like 70,000 people. Capacity of 33,000.
it's smaller.
Whoa. Interesting. I mean, that's still a ton of people.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was the story. I never actually got my photo or got to meet him or anything, but it was
I
funny.
don't even think I think it's not even about, especially nowadays, like it's not even about like the photo, but I think there is something so nice, like when you get to have that in real life interactions, be like, yo, dude, like love your work.
Respect. Yeah.
But I thought that was so hilarious when you sent me that text. I was like, that you have had so many
I know.
indirect interactions with the Vlog Squad, and we love their vlogs. So
We live.
great work, guys. Great work. Yeah, incredible trip. We ended off basically heading to
New
a
York.
really quick under 24-hour trip. Which
I've
we like
never been to New York for that
we like
short.
to joke that we flew to New York literally to go to Budokan.
Literally to
because
go to our
that's what we
favorite
did.
dinner
But no, we were
location.
working with Sport Check and Puma. They had a new launch of a bunch of new products, their spring summer lines. We went to an event there and got to customize some sneakers. It was so fun. And then we went to dinner and then we flew home to Toronto. So
It was crazy.
yeah, I always say the JFK LAX flight makes me feel like a bougie bitch.
I know, like we've only done it a few times, but
But
there
you
is
feel
something
cool.
special.
Each time we're like, that's right, yeah.
Gotta go
JFK.
LA to New York. Yeah, there's something
Oh,
about
we
it.
live- I do not know how this is not real life. It's really funny. I always feel like I'm joking. I'm like, I'm playing someone, you know? But it's hilarious.
I'm playing
I
someone.
am. It's like, is someone gonna realize that?
We always talk about this
I'm a
though.
scammer?
I don't.
Like,
I never feel that way.
I know.
That's just literally
I know.
imposter
I have the
syndrome.
imposter syndrome for sure.
But a lot of people do.
But yeah, no, that was our trip. It was incredible. Honestly, like,
Fire.
great work. I don't even know if I have anything else to say.
No, that was
It a great
awesome.
trip. If you guys want to see more behind the scenes, you have a little vlog on. Are you doing a full vlog of the trip, or you have like a mini
No,
vlog
but it'll
on
be like
your
a Disneyland
IGTV?
vlog that you guys can check
I
out.
have a full 30-minute vlog on my YouTube channel at Jaclyn Forbes.
that's long.
It's a long one. It's like truly, but there's so many different moments of that trip.
Right.
Of that trip, because it felt like we did Nick's first, and I was on
True.
vacation in Malibu, and then we were in New York. So it really was 3 videos
lot.
combined into one.
Totally.
But if you wanna, kill some more time, go do that.
Hop on.
I think we're ready for Roses and Thorns. Are we
All
already
right.
at that space?
Yeah.
Do you want to take it away first? Because I feel like I need some time to think.
Sure. Okay. So I will say Thorn first. Thorn, I guess, would be like as phenomenal as the trip was. It can sometimes be hard to like fall back into life afterwards.
You need
so
a
I guess
vacation from
that's the
vacation.
Thorn. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was an exhausting trip, and I think like specifically for me because I was just literally basically kind of on work the whole time. Like it was just like managing
Yeah.
a lot of the work stuff. So it just felt very busy, but it was like an amazing trip. But that would just be the Thorn, like coming home and being like, oh my God, I need like a few days to
I think a lot of
get my
times
life
too,
back
people
together.
they don't have empathy for other people in that situation because it's hard if you've never like experienced it.
Well,
But
no,
people
I was
don't
getting my
understand how
nails done with Megan Taylor the night
Yeah.
I got back, and she goes, I literally don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I totally get that. She's like, I'm sitting at my desk all day, and you're saying I need a vacation from my
I
LA,
know.
Malibu, like.
But the thing is, and I get it, and I've only ever understood it now that I've experienced it because same, I used to look at people before, I'm like, that doesn't even count as work, or like,
Right.
how is that so exhausting? But then when you live it, being on from 6 a.m., your day started at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
5 a.m. to 12 at like midnight.
Midnight, yeah.
Like you're fully on with a full team, people touching you, people expecting you to, it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
exhausting.
I think
as
it's
fun
like-
as it is
–
definitely
100%.
It wears on you.
There's always a little bit more going on behind the scenes than people see. So
Totally.
But anyways, that would be the Thorn. The Rose, though, yeah, like we had amazing weather. Like that was just like probably the best part. Just like being in the sunshine after like Canadian winter like really hit us. Another Rose would be just like seeing people in LA. Like I feel really lucky that I have like a strong community there of like, and we had more friends that moved there recently, so we got to do dinner with them. Like it was just, it's really cool to see people when you travel, and I feel like I've done a good job in life of like maintaining my long-term relationship.
Totally.
So I have this nice treat that I get to visit when I'm there. And then a Rosebud. We're heading to Calgary, which is like a huge flip on its head.
Yeah!
But yeah, basically like from summer to winter, we're going to Lake Louise, which
I'm
is
so excited.
it's so ironic. I've spent no time in Lake Louise, and then this year this will be my second time going.
Well,
So
same, because I went there for the Stampede
Yeah,
back in
it's
the summer,
weird.
and now I'm going for winter
like Calgary
wonderland.
was never really like on my radar, and now this is my second time in like 4 months. So anyways, back to Lake Louise.
Yeah. Was that your Rosebud?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Thorn for me is You know what? This is very, very superficial.
Okay.
I got a pedicure before we went away, and then it got absolutely annihilated because I had been running on the beach and just like being a bit gross outside. So my feet like need
Are
some help
nasty?
again.
Yeah.
They're just like a bit gross. A rose is these hilarious Nike sneakers. They look like a rhino like horn to me in the best way.
They do.
I love the color of them. I think they're like absolutely epic, and I just am in love with them. So thank
cool.
you, Nike. Another rose. I guess I should do a rose of the trip. Rose of the trip definitely was like spending quality time with my fam. My brother ended up flying in for literally just a few days, but it's rare that we all get to vacation together anymore.
Yeah, that's a treat.
And it worked out great. And then even getting to spend time with you guys and like being at the beach house, the vibe is just so different. And I mean, I guess on the contrary to you, where you were on and working all the time, it was nice for me to step back and have a few days off and like not do anything.
Totally.
And then a rosebud. Okay, I don't want to say Alberta because you said that, but that's definitely on there. Another rosebud is that, what's happening this week?
You're hosting something tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. We're going to, oh my God, Derek just saw
Oh,
us.
Jesus.
Oh, God. What is he's going to be brewing up
I don't
something,
know.
but we're going to end the episode before he comes back. To All the Boys, the next movie is out, and we're going to an advanced screening of that. Is that tomorrow? Yeah, that's tomorrow. And last minute, I'm actually hosting the event, which will be really fun, so that'll be cool. And yeah, I think that's it. I feel like I've been rambling this whole time, but I think, did this episode make sense?
I think so.
I don't know.
Well, thank you to Swab app for being on board for this episode. Definitely go check out the app, and we will see you on our next episode.
Yes, we'll see you guys very soon. Check the description box for more about Swab, and thanks so much for watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye.